No one expected the afternoon to collapse into catastrophe. The sun still filtered through the curtains in a warm, gentle haze. The wind outside whispered softly against the window. And Diep was smiling as she placed a steaming bowl of porridge on the small table beside the bed where James had been resting since the previous night. He had seemed exhausted, but he kept brushing off her concern. Just work stress, he told her. A headache, nothing more. But Diep saw what he tried to hide, the unnatural pallor clinging to his skin, the labored weight in each breath, the faint tremor in his fingers every time he tried to sit up. She wanted to call the doctor again, but James looked at her with a tired yet reassuring smile, and she relented. She sat beside him, gently wiping sweat from his forehead with a warm cloth. After this week, he whispered, I'll take you somewhere quiet. Just you, me, and our baby. The one we haven't even seen yet. Her heart softened. She placed a hand over her stomach, still astonished, day after day, that a small life had begun growing inside her. A life shaped from love, longing, and every storm they had survived together. She opened her mouth to answer. But never got the chance. James suddenly stiffened. His eyes widened, his hand slipped from hers. James, she called softly. Then louder, James. The bowl crashed to the floor as she leapt toward him. James's body jerked once, violently, before collapsing backward. His lips drained of color. His chest no longer moved. A horrifying silence swallowed the room whole. She shook him desperately. James, please, please breathe. Nothing. His heart, his strong, steady heart that had carried her through loneliness and fear, had stopped. It lasted only seconds, but to Diep it felt like the end of everything. Tears streamed down her face as she cried out for help, her voice raw with terror. Neighbors rushed in. Someone called an ambulance. Someone tried CPR. But Diep clung to James's limp hand, begging him to return, to her, to their child, to the future they had promised each other. When paramedics lifted him onto the stretcher, her legs nearly gave way beneath her. She followed, trembling, her vision blurred with tears. She didn't know if James would survive. She didn't know whether fate still had mercy left for her. She didn't know whether any miracle was still possible. The hospital corridor smelled of disinfectant and cold metal, a scent Diep had always disliked but never feared. Until now. She sat hunched on a hard plastic chair outside the emergency room, hands clenched so tight her knuckles turned white. Porridge still stained her clothes, but she didn't notice. Her eyes were fixed on the door in front of her, the door that separated her from the man who held her entire world inside his heartbeat. NHI rushed to the hospital the moment she got Diep's shaking call. She wrapped an arm around her. Diep, breathe. You have to breathe, for the baby. But Diep couldn't. Every inhale scraped through her chest like shards of glass. The last image of James, pale, unresponsive, limp, kept replaying in her mind, each repetition cutting deeper. He promised me, Diep whispered. He said we would go away. He said he'd be here when the baby comes. Nye's eyes softened. He will. James is strong. He's fought through worse, but Diep knew, this wasn't like anything he'd faced before. Not betrayal. Not business failure. Not the relentless pressure from his father. This was his body giving up. This was life or death. Minutes crawled by like hours. Finally, the emergency room door opened. A doctor stepped out, gloves still on, expression calm but unreadable. Diep stood so fast she almost fell, and NHI caught her. How is he? Diep asked, her voice breaking. The doctor exhaled slowly. We managed to restart his heart. Relief washed through her and nearly toppled her, but the doctor continued, he is not stable yet. His body experienced a severe shock. We need to monitor him closely. Diep's throat tightened. Can I see him? Only for a moment, he replied. Inside the dim recovery room, machines beeped with a rhythm both reassuring and terrifying. James lay motionless, eyes closed, an oxygen mask covering his face. His skin was cold. Tubes and wires connected him to life. Diep approached, tears slipping freely. She took his hand, the same hand that once held hers in the wedding studio, warm and full of promise. James, she whispered, leaning close. Please come back to me. To us. I can't do this without you. She thought, just for a heartbeat, that she saw his fingers twitch. Or maybe it was only hope trembling inside her, refusing to die. Night deepened outside the windows, turning them into dark mirrors that reflected only Diep's exhausted face, red eyes, trembling lips, hair clinging to her tear-streaked cheeks. She refused to leave, even as nurses came and went, adjusting machines and urging her to rest. Her fingers stayed intertwined with James's cold hand. Do you remember, she whispered, the first time you came to my house? You brought flowers, but I wasn't even home. You stood there like someone lost. That's when I first thought, maybe you needed me. Her voice broke into a sob. And now, I'm the one who needs you. James didn't move. His chest rose and fell only because the machine made it do so. The heart monitor beeped steadily, each sound both comfort and threat. One wrong beat, one sudden flatline, and everything would shatter. NHI appeared at the door again. Diep, you've been awake all night. You need to eat something. You're pregnant. Diep shook her head instantly. If he wakes up and I'm not here, he'll think I gave up on him. Nyi's stern expression softened. James knows your heart. He knows you don't give up. Diep swallowed. His father did this. He pushed him until his body couldn't take any more. Years of pressure. James didn't deserve any of it, and that, NHI said gently, is why he needs you now. Love is the only thing he has left to survive for. When NHI stepped out, Diep leaned closer to James again, pressing her forehead against his hand. James, our baby needs you. I need you. Please, if there's even the tiniest spark in you, fight. A sudden shift in the monitor made her freeze. The beeping slowed, her heart plummeted. James? James, can you hear me? Nurses rushed in. One pulled her aside, another checked the machine, another called for the doctor. Diep trembled, hands covering her mouth. This fear felt different, sharper, deeper, she could sense it. Life was slipping through James's fingers. The alarm shrilled. Doctors filled the room, voices urgent, muffled by the roaring in Diep's ears. Heart rhythm dropping. Prepare the crash cart. We're losing him. Clear the area. Diep's knees nearly buckled. No. No, please, she whispered, gripping the wall just to stay upright. Her heart felt like it was being torn apart piece by piece. A nurse tried to guide her out, but Diep shook her head violently. Don't take me away. He needs me. James needs me. She pressed herself into a corner, refusing to leave. Defibrillator pads were placed on James's bare chest. 1, 2, clear, his body jolted. Nothing, charged to 200. Clear, his body jerked again. Still nothing, dread thickened the air. Even the medical staff hesitated for a breath, as if unsure whether hope still belonged in the room. Diep stepped forward, tears dripping onto the floor. James, she whispered. You promised me. You said you'd stay with me for the rest of my life. You said you'd hold our baby. You can't break that promise, not like this. Not without saying goodbye. Something shifted. Not in the machines, but in the air itself. A fragile warmth hovered around his still body. Charge again, 250, the doctor commanded. 1, 2, clear, a shock surged through him. And then, a faint, fragile blip on the monitor. Then another. We've got rhythm. Stabilizing. Diep gasped, hands flying to her mouth, and collapsed into the chair as sobs of relief tore through her. The doctor wiped his brow and offered a tired smile. He's not out of danger yet, he warned gently. But he heard you. Somehow, he fought his way back. Through a haze of tears, Diep looked at James. I knew you'd come back to me, she whispered. His hand was warm now. Weak, fragile, but alive. Whether it was love, a miracle, or something that defied explanation, James's soul had answered her call. And as long as he breathed, Diep knew she would never let go. Life tests us in ways we never expect. Sometimes gently, through small disappointments or quiet changes. Other times with a force that leaves us breathless on the edge of losing everything we love. What Diep lived through in that hospital corridor was a truth many never learn until it's too late. Love is not just an emotion, it is an anchor, a force, a reason to keep going when everything else collapses. James and Diep had endured judgment, rejection, misunderstanding, and crushing disapproval. She had been looked down on, wounded by cruel words. He had been torn between family duty and his own heart. Yet through all of it, their bond remained rooted in one unshakable choice: to stand beside each other. When James's heart stopped, Diep learned something that reshapes a person forever. Life is fragile. A heartbeat can vanish in an instant. A promise can dissolve with a breath. Her tears, her voice, her desperate call, they were not weakness, they were love refusing to surrender. And sometimes, love reaches where machines cannot. Sometimes, love pulls a soul back from the edge. Do not wait to cherish the people who matter. Do not hide affection, gratitude, or devotion. Life is unpredictable. But love, when nurtured, is a light even darkness cannot extinguish. James returned because Diep gave him something to hold on to. Diep survived heartbreak because her love gave her the strength to hope. And together, they proved that when two hearts choose each other fully, even death hesitates before taking the light they create.